Not Just Coffee with Reese. Obviously, I am Reese, and that wonderful little sound you hear in the background serenading you is my dog, Mr. Gibbs. He likes to be by my side 24/7, so you will hear him here in the background giving his commentary. Yeah, he probably sounds like a 200-pound man snoring away, but he is a 24-pound Frenchie. I know lots of people have ideas of Frenchies, like, do they snore really loud? As you can probably hear, yes, they do. Do they always fart? I don't know. Gibbs, my dog, he doesn't fart that much, but he does let some pretty nasty ones out, especially for his size. And yes, they do zoomies, and he's very proud of his zoomies. He'll do about 4 zoomies around the yard, and then he's done showing off. So there it goes. But that is my co-host, Mr. Gibbs, that you'll hear in the background. Sometimes he'll be completely silent, and other times he'll be very loud. So that's Mr. Gibbs. Anyways, like I said, welcome to Not Just Coffee with Reese. Today I want to start off with my drink of choice. I did choose coffee. My coffee, it's an iced coffee that I got. I got it from Merit Coffee this time, and it is like a wash blend. So they said it had more chocolatey notes and soft, very smooth tasting, and it's actually really good. So I am excited about it. I tasted it. I'm not one to really put cream or sugar or anything like that in my coffee, so I always drink it black. I'm a purist. And it tastes great. So let me see. I'm like halfway done with it already. But it tastes good. It tastes really good. I know I just said that kind of like Valley Girl, like I'm almost like halfway done with it already, but did not mean to sound like that. So that's what I'll be drinking throughout the show. Excited to give an update. So throughout this process, of course, this isn't like my main podcast right now. I'm still getting everything set up. I wanted to document though how it was getting all my podcast equipment set up. Since the last time I talked to you guys, I have gotten let me pull it out here. I've gotten a Focusrite. Ooh, fancy. I am going to be learning about how to work this. So that'll be cool. So next episode, hopefully I will be using that. So that's the newest edition. Other than that, coming up, I'm going to be getting some lighting. I'm going to be getting a camera. Right now, I am using my iPhone to film this, but hopefully that will be changing here soon. What else? The camera. I am going to get another mic for my guests. So it's all going to be coming together here quickly. So that's awesome. Yay! So a little bit of progress. Anyways, let's get started. I had a thought that came into my mind. I always have these random thoughts. I don't know how y'all's minds work, but oh my gosh, I'm so glad people cannot read minds. They would probably be like, what is going on in that head? I just have the most randomest thoughts all the time. But the one that has recently popped into my head was, so this is gonna be a shocker. Hold your seats. You're gonna be like, whoa, mind blown. I have a regular job. So I have an 8 to 5 job, Monday through Friday. I know you are shocked. You're like, what? You don't do this podcast for a living? I'm sure you're banking with all your sponsors. Of course, so that's sarcasm for me. I should probably let you know, my sarcasm is I'm very dry. A lot of people don't even think I'm being sarcastic, and that gets kind of like awkward sometimes because it's like, well, then if you have to say you're sarcastic, you're like, hey, you can like see it in their face. They're like, oh, and you're like, I'm being sarcastic. But it's this dry, sarcastic sense of humor that I have that people can't even tell. But I know if you're watching this or listening to this, you know this is not my full-time job because I would be out on the streets. But that was a huge sidetrack. But like I was saying, so I have an 8 to 5 job to pay my bills, and to get to my office building, I have to take an elevator. I don't go very far, like my office isn't tall up into the building, but for an American, I take the elevator. I'm sure probably in Europe and other countries, they're like, that's why you Americans are so fat. I don't even know what accent that was that I made them, but that was like a non-American person right there. So I only travel 3 floors, but I use the elevator for the 3 floors. I will admit to, I don't know about y'all, but I will use an elevator for 1 floor too. That's probably very like lazy, but it got me thinking like, ooh, are there like protocols or is there like elevator etiquette? Because I got into the elevator and both of these conversations happened in the same day. I think I actually had 3 different times. The first time I got into an elevator with someone, this was I think like on Friday, I got into the elevator. And have you ever had the elevator rides where it's completely silent and you're just like, this is so exciting watching like the numbers light up, or you pull out your phone. Thank goodness for phones. Like I don't know what people did when there wasn't a phone. If you ever have an awkward situation or if you have nothing to do, you're just able to like pull out your phone. You don't have to interact with anyone. You can be like, oh, this looks like a very important email, or let me clean this out, or let me like scroll through TikTok. But so, you know, a lot of times you'll do that, but I was in the elevator, you get in and you know what floor you're going to. You press 3, the other person presses 4. So I feel if you know that someone's getting out at 3 and you're getting out 4, don't start a conversation when the elevator hits floor 2. I just feel like that's wrong. Like, what are you gonna do? The next floor is 3. I'm getting out. You know I'm getting out, and you're getting out at 4. And you're starting a conversation with me at 2? I don't know. I don't see the logic behind that. Doesn't make sense. It just makes it awkward because then they know you're getting out at 3 and you have to like cut the conversations short or stay there in the elevator door and be like, oh yeah, okay, well bye, you know. So it just got me thinking like, are there elevator etiquettes? Because I never knew about that. So I looked it up. Yes, I'm that person. I look different things up. And so I kind of wanted to share that with you because I found some of them interesting. The first one, and I did not know this. So I'm safe actually, and I'm not breaking the first elevator etiquette rule, but the first one is follow the 2 flight rule. Did anyone know about that? Because I did not. I just admitted that I will take an elevator for 1 flight. And this one says, this rule actually insists you stay out of the elevator if you're going fewer than 2 floors up or down. Well, first of all, if you're going fewer than 2 floors up or down, okay, I can see that. But I still ride the elevator. I don't know if you guys do. And it says why. So it has to explain it because I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess, but like, why? Why? Especially if you're in heels. I don't want to be taking stairs. And it says why you may get some dirty looks from colleagues and fellow passengers if you're adding an extra 20 seconds to their commute, or if they have to stop at every other floor. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, like elderly. I don't know, I'd make an elderly person walk. It's probably good for their health. I'm just kidding. Or am I? No, I wouldn't do that. Of course, welcome, come to the elevator, ride one floor. So elderly, parents with strollers, or those with disabilities. So that was the first rule of etiquette, which I already break. So I was like, okay, apparently there are 7 rules. So I was curious to see how many of these I already break. Right now, I am 1 for 7 that I break. Let's go on to the second rule. The second rule of the elevator etiquettes. I feel like I need to like hold up my pinky. Elevator etiquettes. It is holding the door. Now, I have come across holding the door. There are awkward times when my hands are full and I see someone coming, but I can't get the door. And you're just like, you make the eye contact. Has anyone done that when you see the person and you're like, oh, I see you, and you all of a sudden make eye contact and you're like, oh, but I don't want to ride in the elevator with you. But you already locked contact. So you do the fake hand thing. Oh, I'm gonna try and put my, oh, sorry, door closed. That made me probably seem like a very bad person, because not every time, you know, I do that. Sometimes it does close, you just can't get to it. But anyways, so the second one, holding the door. When, how, and if you should do it. It has been a long debated question, they say, as whether or not to hold the elevator door for someone. On one hand, it might seem like a matter of compassion, right? But on the other, you risk holding up the ride for your fellow passengers. If you're alone in the elevator, do what you think is right. I don't know about that. I can see that is like, honestly, I can see all 7 of these rules as like a Seinfeld episode, to be honest, or I don't know. Yeah, probably like a Seinfeld episode or something like that. Anyways, on one hand, it may seem like a matter of compassion, but then you're holding up for other passengers. But if you're alone, you know, do what you think is right. So, but if the elevator is full, on the other hand, there's no shame in giving an apologetic expression and letting the doors close. So I guess you'd be like, sorry. And just let them know, get the next one, it's full. I mean, I don't know why you'd go like this, just be like, it's full. I mean, but nowadays, I don't know if that, yeah, it's full. I don't know. So that was holding the doors. And then their third one is proximity. Where do you stand in the elevator? I always walk into an elevator, and if it's just me going into an empty elevator, I stand in the middle. I don't know why. I'll just walk in, stand in the middle. But if there's someone else, it does say, if there's only 2 people in the elevator, it's best to stand on opposite sides of the car. So I always felt that that was kind of weird, that maybe they thought I wasn't being like nice or like a warm person. But yay, I got 1 so far, 1 out of 3, that I am doing proper elevator etiquette if you stand on opposite sides of the elevator. So now, if you complicate things and there is 3 or 4 people, they should stand at each of the corners. So you should all be in a little corner. And then 5 or more riders should attempt to space themselves out evenly and face forward. It's good to know. Do not face backwards or sideways, face forward. Arms and hands should be kept to the side to avoid contact. So I guess I'm doing one kind of right. Even though I will say, if I'm in an elevator with more than one person, I don't face forward. Sometimes I face sideways. I don't know, like smile at them. But I guess you can face forward. Anyways, so number 4, always face the elevator doors. If you're entering a crowded elevator with 3 or more riders, it's always best to face the doors. Entering the elevator and staring into the face of someone else can be uncomfortable, awkward, and even creepy. You're already in someone's personal space, so don't make it any worse by initiating potential unwanted eye contact. So that's very good to know. So face those elevator doors. You know what I've done in an awkward situation like that? I'll always try and compliment the person sometimes I'm stuck in the elevator with, like, oh, hey, I love those shoes. Or, that coffee smells good. I don't know. It's always like there's one-liners and then you're completely silent afterwards and you're like, well, I should have dragged out that compliment because now we have 2 floors of just silence. But, so now we know, always face the elevator doors. We're gonna go to number 5, minimal eye contact. That's standard. Okay. Sometimes you can't help but make a little eye contact. Getting on an elevator doesn't have to be completely awkward. Brief eye contact and a nod or a smile is usually well received. So I guess it's like right when you walk in, if there's another person, you look at what corner they're at, smile. Oops, that was a nod. Smile, nod, and go to your corner, and then face the door. So minimal eye contact. So long as you turn your focus on something, anything else in the elevator once you're on board. So smile, nod, and then turn your focus on anything else in the elevator while you're riding. This gives others the chance to enjoy the ride in peace without forcing them to engage in small talk or making anyone feel uncomfortable. I don't know, whether you're making eye contact with me or not, I feel uncomfortable. I don't think anyone feels comfortable just like, let's face the door and not talk at all. But who knows? So I need to work on that one too. Next one, phone calls. Keep phone calls private. I feel like this is a really big one in today's world. I don't know how you guys are. One of my pet peeves, and if you do this, hey, maybe you shouldn't. We have AirPods now. You don't have to be a speaker talker. I don't know if anyone knows someone who's a speaker talker, but I feel like we all have that person, or we've all been in an elevator with that person. They insist on having their phone on speaker mode. Why? Please help me understand that. Why do you want to have your phone on speaker? Can you not hold it to your ear? Do you not have like AirPods that you can put in? Why do you speaker talk? Especially in an elevator. But they even say that here. So I guess I have like two elevator etiquettes that I do, because I wouldn't put someone on a speaker. But anyways, it should seem like common sense. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know that, I'm a common sense person, right? Taking point out, keeping your cell phone holstered in a pocket or sticking to text is common courtesy. So I guess maybe not even talking. I guess we have to stick to like text messaging or keeping your phone in your pocket. But I mean, that does make sense, because a lot of times when I'm going into an elevator, you'll lose like reception, or sometimes you'll get a little spotty. But so keep that phone in your pocket or stay to texting. let's go to the 7th one. So there's only 7 rules. So we're going to be here on number 7. I didn't know this was one. There's protocol on how to exit the elevator. Pinkies up, let us exit. When the elevator is packed, the 2 standing closest to the door should step out at any requested stops to allow folks in the back to exit without requiring them to squeeze themselves out. It's not fun to get elbowed, and it's certainly uncomfortable to wedge yourself up against people because they're not willing to move 2 feet out of the way. I think that went from like British to Australian accent. Sorry, obviously I'm not good at accents, but we'll keep going here. When you step out of the elevator, make room for those leaving. Be considerate and hold the door to make re-entry smooth. So that's what you're supposed to do. If you're the one exiting though, it's best to give the others a warning by saying something like, "My stop is next. The next floor is my stop." This gives them time to adjust spacing. If they've been brushing up on their etiquettes. And you know what? In this podcast, we are all brushing up on our etiquettes. So next time when we ride that elevator, we will say, "Excuse me, my next stop is coming up, kind sir. May you kindly move out of the way so I can exit without elbowing or brushing anyone." On a similar note, they say, when boarding a full elevator, give those inside the first chance to exit before making your way inside. Anyways, so those are all the tips and elevator etiquettes. I will say I am giving you guys some pretty updated information here on elevator etiquette because this was updated in 2022, April the 15th. So hot off the press pretty much with elevator etiquette. I don't know, just had me kind of curious on hearing everything. And approximately, this is something that's kind of cool, making you a little smarter today. Approximately 1 million elevators are in the United States and Canada alone. So how great is that? Elevators are a common area that warrant their own set of rules, and there's not enough of them. Approximately 1 million elevators in the United States and Canada alone. So that just had me thinking, I don't know, my mind will like go off on different things. I'm like, oh, I wonder about that. And then it's like, the more you research things, you're like, crap, I really don't know a lot. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I thought that was pretty cool. So now next time when I'm like in an elevator, I'm like, oh, that person, they are not using elevator etiquette. Are they like making eye contact with me? They need to be facing the door. Hello, where are your manners? And now I know it's okay not to make small talk, because elevator etiquette is just a small nod and a smile, and then you go to your corner and face that door. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of interesting, but that's gonna be all for me today, I guess. I'll leave you with another cool little fact. I found this really cool. I've been watching this show. It's on YouTube. I think it's called like Hanging Out. Basically what they do is the people are on like a tightrope and they get asked questions. So I thought it was a pretty cool show. I watch it now and I just like follow it on Instagram and stuff. But they gave a question that I thought was really cool. It's about sloths. I know lots of people love sloths. They're such cute little slow animals. But one of the questions was, how often does a sloth poop? A sloth poops once a week. So they have their weekly poop, which I find pretty crazy because I know like my dog poops like at least twice a day. But for some reason, maybe everything about a sloth's body's slow, you know. But a sloth, I believe, only poops once a week, which is pretty darn interesting. But anyways, that is my second episode of Not Just Coffee with Reese. Some more things I'm going to actually be getting done in this podcast is I am going to be getting a jingle and an intro. So pretty soon you will not have to hear my wonderful voice going, Not Just Coffee with Reese. Instead, it will be someone who can actually hold a tune. So I'm really looking forward to making sure, if you're listening to this, that your ears will not bleed pretty soon. Hang in there with me a little bit longer. I will also be getting a cool little logo for Not Just Coffee with Reese. Yeah, and it will start getting a little bit more official every time you see me, so watch out. I may even get a sponsor too. Just kidding. I don't think that'll happen for quite a while. And I will still be keeping my 8 to 5 job, obviously, because someone's got to pay bills, right? But thanks for joining me. You guys are wonderful, beautiful human beings. Love you all very much. And I'll see you on my next episode of Not Just Coffee with Reese. Bye, guys.